Time to kickstart off the third act.
Finally!
The gang returns to Naboo to find the blockade is gone and only one battleship is left orbiting the planet.
Why?
Qui-Gon states that you don't need a blockade when you control the fort, but now that Palpatine has everything he needs to be Chancellor, he doesn't really care, and whatever happens, happens.
But it just isn't explained in the movie, and is given a quick and dismissive explanation in the novel. So the audience is left with no explanation.
Queen Amidala is practically attempting a suicide mission by returning to Naboo to free her planet.
As soon as we land, the Federation will arrest you and force you to sign the treaty.
I agree. I'm not sure what you wish to accomplish by this.
And then we find out.
Although we do not always agree, Your Honor, our two great societies have always lived in peace. I ask you to help us. No, I beg you to help us. We are your humble servants.
Please, 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 put all of your people on the front line so our people can be free.
You know, for a loving queen who's so desperate to save her people, she seems pretty emotionless in begging for help.
Now, aside from the dangerous and suicidal battle the Queen is asking the Gungans to do, the strategy she uses is rather clever.
The battle is a diversion. The Gungans must draw the droid army away from the cities. R2, we can enter the city using the secret passages on the waterfall side. Once we get to the main entrance, Captain Panaka will create a diversion. Then we can enter the palace and capture the Viceroy. Without the Viceroy, they will be lost and confused.
Hey, if Santa Anna was dumb enough to fall for it, Nuke Gunray definitely will.
The final battle is reflective of the Battle of Endor, with several different action sequences happening at once. And I think it's cool how Lucas begins the saga with this climax and then ends the saga with it too. Primitive tribe versus the technological army. The Battle of Space Freighters, inspired by the dogfights of World War II.
Watch yourself, Wedge. Free from above. Red 3, Red 2, pull in.
And finally, the traditional battle, honoring such warriors like the Knights of the Round Table and the Japanese samurai.
So the distraction is put into effect, Anakin takes to the skies, and this is where the fun begins.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just cannot let this go.
Why the hell are these fighter ships yellow? Why not silver like the bigger ships? Yellow is like the easiest color to lock onto. You might as well paint a bullseye on these fighters.
I mean, hell, the fighter planes in World War II had bullseyes on them, and they weren't as obvious.
I'll never forget this day when we're shooting, because we had this incredible opening that reveals Ray Park as Darth Maul. And I remember the whole crew just shuddered. I mean, there was absolute silence as he looked up. Natalie just kind of walked away. She didn't know what to make of him. It was an awesome fight that we shot over a 2-day period, all at Leavesden Studios.
Now, for those of you who say that all they need to do is shoot him, let me give you a brief look at what happens to anyone who tries to do that to a Jedi.
What follows in between scenes is one of the most amazing lightsaber battles ever done on screen.
There's no room for error in any of the fights. You won't see it because they're so fast, but if you slow them down and freeze-framed them, they can only parry there, or they can only attack there. The moves are so natural, or so correct. It's the only place they can be. I found Darth Maul, and he's being played by a guy called Ray Park, and he's very good in like kendo and martial arts, and he's a brilliant gymnast. I mean, you know, he's better than I am.
We actually cast a villain who was a sword fighter. You know, when you have one of the characters who actually knows what he's doing and is really an expert at it, it definitely ups the ante for all the other actors to do their thing as well as they can. And I think it makes a big difference on the screen.
We could see immediately he had the look, he had all the physical skill, he was incredibly disciplined, and the amount of work that this guy did was phenomenal. I mean, he put everything. He spent 20 hours at the studio every day. The hatred that comes out of his eyes, there's no question that he is the serious bad guy. The makeup, which was beautifully done, instantly shows you someone who is a real menace.
If you did it with stunt people, they'd all be little tiny things in the frame. You'd never get close to the emotion that you get when you actually see the actors playing the part and see the actors struggling in the fight sequences.
The Jedi fight a valiant battle, but then the rest of the team aren't doing much better. It seems that everything is falling apart. Now Obi-Wan is alone, without his mentor, and forced to take on his master's place as a hero. Just as Luke finds himself alone when his mentor is slain by Vader. Maul nearly finishes off Obi-Wan, but then indulges in the biggest weakness of those with too much power.
Your overconfidence is your weakness.
You're not using the Force, are you? Should have seen that coming. We're too popular to die. Meanwhile, Anakin scores a major victory similar to that of an intergalactic super stud, Lando Calrissian. So the Council gives Obi-Wan permission to train Anakin, and they all live happily ever after.